Now I told in the nuptial flight and copulation, we have discussed what is nuptial flight. Now what happens after a week, about a week after emergence from her chamber, that is the queen bee. Is it clear? She flies out with the drones and copulation takes place in the air with the drone, and the queen receives the spermatophores from the drone. Is it clear? What is nuptial flight? I have already explained it. Nuptial flight is the mating of the queen bee with the drones during the flight and mates with the many number of drones. Is it clear? Collects the many number of spermatophores in her spermatheca, stores it and uses it throughout her life. Is it clear? And that drones die immediately after the mating. Okay, drones die immediately after the mating. So usually it is believed that the queen bee mates only once in her lifetime, but the recent studies have shown that the queen mate more than twice in her lifetime. Then the drones, they die immediately because their genital parts ruptures or comes out after the mating, so the drone doesn't survive after the mating. So the honeybee family is an excellent example of a social life. Why it is an excellent example for the social life? Because all the group of members, okay, all the group of members, they are working and mutually supporting one another. Mutually supporting one another. All the members have their own different roles, but they all live together, and that's what, and develop the young ones in the colony to make it a healthy colony. Is it clear? That is about the nuptial flight. And now, in a hive or a comb, we have already discussed it. That is, the worker bees constructed hive with the help of wax secreted from the secreting glands of the abdomen. So the wax is secreted from the glands of the abdomen. Who secretes this wax? The worker bees secretes this glands. They repair the cracks by what? That is the propolis. Okay, propolis is a substance. It is a resinous substance collected by the bees from the different parts of the plants and which is used as a glue. Is it clear? Now, the propolis is used as a glue to bind the broken parts, and balm, one more is there, which is used for polishing the inner walls of the hive or a comb. Now, each beehive contains thousands of hexagonal cells in 2 vertical rows. Each beehive contains thousands of hexagonal cells arranged in 2 vertical rows. Now see, there is again, we will not go deep into that, but the shape of these cells are hexagonal cells. Why they make the hexagonal cells? To reduce the loss of a space between the 2 cells. Whenever there is hexagonal cells, each cells fit without any intercellular spaces. Okay, so that's why the honey bees are so brilliant in making or constructing their hives. They prepare the shape, that is they prefer the shape that is hexagonal, so that there should not be any loss of space in the colony. That's what they make the hexagonal. Now there are 5 types of cells. Now in this honey hive, there are 5 types of cells. That is, one is the queen cells. Okay, the one is what? The queen cells. Second one is the drone cells. Third is the worker cells. Fourth one is the brood cells. And fifth is the storage cells. Means what? For each member and for each functions, there is a different types of cells. Now queen cells. Usually a queen is single. Larvae are also less. Queen larvae. So the number of queen cells are also very less compared to the other member cells or other types of cells. Now these queen cells are larger. They are less in number, but they are larger than the other cells, and they are vase shaped. Okay, and what is the shape of the queen's chamber or the queen cells? That is the vase shaped, and they are situated at the margin of the comb, usually at the periphery. Okay, where they are situated? They are situated at the margin or the periphery of the comb. Is it clear? And these cells are used for queen rearing. Okay, queen cells. These are smaller in few in number, larger in size, vase shaped, present at the periphery or margin of the comb. Margin of the comb, and these cells are used for queen rearing. These cells are used for the queen rearing. And secondly, drone cells. Now drones are the males, we know. Is it clear? These are about 200, or sorry, there are about 200 drone cells. I told you in earlier that the number of drones itself may be ranging in the hundreds. Is it clear? So that's what the 200 drone cells in each hive, and are smaller than the queen cells. Okay, and these are in these cells the drones are reared. Okay, in drone cells drones are reared. In queen cells queens are reared. Is it clear? They are 200 in number in a hive. Okay, and they are smaller compared to the queen cells. Now worker cells. You know that in an entire colony the more populated members are the workers. So naturally the majority number of the cells is the worker cells. Okay, the majority of the number of cells is a worker cells, and each cell is about measuring 5 millimeter across. Now the workers are reared in these cells. Okay, workers are reared in these cells. There is a brood cells. Okay, there is a brood cells. The larvae of the honeybee are reared in these cells. Okay, brood means nothing but the larvae or the young one. These young ones or the larvae of the honeybee are reared in these cells. There is a storage cells also. There is a storage cells, that is these cells are meant for the storage of honey and pollen. Is it clear? So queen cells for rearing of the queens, larger in size, lesser in number. Okay, vase shaped, arranged at the periphery or the margin of the colony. Drone cells, few in number, means it is in number about nearly about 200 cells. Is it clear? In a colony, they are smaller than the queen cells. Is it clear? Then apart from that, the drones are reared in these cells. Worker cells, the maximum number of cells in a hive are the worker cells. Then these worker cells are reared in these worker cells only. Brood cells are there. Here in these brood cells, the larvae are reared, and the storage cell is there, where whatever the nectar and the pollens are collected, those all are stored and capped. There is capped cells, uncapped cells are there. Is it clear? So see, I'll just show you, that is, it is the queen cup. Is it clear? You can see the queen cup. Then is it a supersedure cells, means what the queen has to live when she feels that is the older. Now drone cells, worker cells. Okay, drone cells, worker cells. So these are the different types of this. Okay, so after this, the role of hormone for social organization. The role of hormone for social organization. What are these hormones? The hormones are the chemical messengers. Is it clear? These are what? The chemical messengers like. Is it clear? Now here, the mandibular gland of queens secretes the substance, okay, the substance called as oxydecanoic acid. Okay, called as oxydecanoic acid. Now, that is the mandible gland of the queens, which are situated in the head and opens at the base of the mandible. Now these glands secretes the chemical substance that inhibits the development of the ovaries of the worker bees. I told in my in my last slides, that is the pheromones or the chemical substance secreted by the queen, it controls the entire activities of the entire members activity of the colony. That is, in that the queen bee also inhibits the development of ovaries of the worker bees, and because of this, the workers becomes infertile. Infertile. That is, a British researcher C.G. Butler has found that a substance, that is oxydecanoic acid, which is inhibiting the development of that ovaries of a worker bees, and is a substance properties which controls the activities of all the bees in the hive. It not only makes the infertile of the honeybee, worker bee, but also what it does, it does the activities, controls the activities of all the members of the colony. So the queen bee secretes a pheromone by a mandibular gland and attracts the drones also. Is it clear? So here it is what? It inhibits the development of the ovaries of the worker bees, and she also attracts the drones for the nuptial flight. Okay, for the nuptial flight. And what is that substance? That substance is oxydecanoic acid. Oxydecanoic acid. Is it clear? From where it is secreted? It is secreted from the mandibular glands of a queen. Mandibular glands of the queens. That is the role of the hormone. Now, life cycle of honeybee is there, which we will be continuing this in the next class. Okay, so thank you.